At least women don't pee all over the floor.
No, that's not true.
A lot of women clapping there.
Obviously, they do use more loo, but it's a lot harder for them to shake than it is for us. Do you know what I mean? Cheeky flick, everything's fine. For a woman to do that, she's got to get on a swing.
Or one of those power plates, you know, the ones that go...
One of those.
You wouldn't need a power plate. All you need is a vibrating loo.
Oh, that's it. There you go.
Sit on it, you have a wee, press a button.
Yeah.
Trouble with that is they'd never get off it.
Are you coming out of there?
Oh, God.
I think I've got diarrhea. Now, here's the question.
It's a shaken vac, drinking leaves of water.
I have to tell you that the little baby Jesus, whom I have never believed in until this minute, has told me to change the subject. All right. And we're going to jump. As we're jumping, we're going to jump. We're going to jump to Spain. We're on a roll. Why do these babies have nothing to fear? There are men jumping over them.
Oh.
But why have they nothing to fear?
Yes.
It's a real event that happens in Spain.
Baby jumping.
Baby jumping it's the baby jumping festival El Colacho.
El Colacho.
Yes,
of course.
Near Burgos in northern Spain,
Right.
in the Castrillo de Murcia. The reason is that these babies have been purged of their original sin in this ceremony, so that if they die, they won't go to hell.
Burgos has the largest cathedral in Spain. It's absolutely
It's a very huge cathedral.
enormous.
Yeah. The
I love the concept of original sin. It's like you go to confess and you go in and the priest goes, that's not original enough.
Derivative sin.
All right, then, I got a transit van and then pushed it into a bouncy castle. Yep, I haven't heard that before. Have a blessing.
Well, yes, the Catholic Church is slightly embarrassed about this festival, actually, because...
I could think is, on the vibrating loo, you'd have different speeds, wouldn't you? Dial. Every side to side, forwards and back, round and round.
But basically...
And then one... and then one like the waltzers. They go right
There are no reports of injured babies.
All right.
So you may prefer to indulge in a Japanese ceremony called the Hadaka Matsuri. It's the Naked Festival.
Raw baby eating.
Yep, it takes place in Okayama. There they are. 500-year-old event. It culminates in 9,000 men in loincloths wrestling in mud.
Are they all men? Some of them look like women.
Well, they're all
There's
men.
a woman in the middle there, surely.
No, she's a man. He's a man. and then, in the end, the lucky man gets thrown a pair of sticks by a Shinto priest at around midnight, and the winner thrusts the sticks into a wooden box filled with rice and is granted a year of happiness. It seems a perfectly normal way to behave to me, don't you think?
Yes. So run me through it again. You get a pair of sticks.
9,000 naked men wrestle in mud.
with great big pouchy mouths.
And then eventually a Shinto priest throws 2 sticks to the winner, who sticks it in some rice and is granted happiness.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I love rice.
Yeah.
Is that...
5 stars on TripAdvisor, this, wasn't it? Yeah.
All right. Jumping out of planes now. What? OK, what happens if you wear your parachute upside down?
You get back on. You're going to say you get back on the plane?
Yes, Bill, you're in first.
I was going to say that you just comes out the wrong way, and you're fine. It's inside out.
Yes.
You go upwards and you get back on the plane. I would think you'd be all right, wouldn't you? The parachute would catch the air anyway and it would open.
I have some experience of this.
Yes, go on, tell us.
I've done a tandem jump. I was once tossed through a hatch strapped to a red devil. life sort of flashed before me.
Yes.
And I didn't think the parachute was going to come out, but obviously it did, or I wouldn't be here. But I did ask Keith, his name was.
Keith the Red Devil.
Yes. What would happen? It doesn't bear thinking about, apparently. No, you would die.
You really would die. Yeah.
Did you ask him this on the way down? Keith! Shut up! Just shut up!
You can't speak at all. Before the parachute goes up, you're falling so quickly, your cheeks are out here.
Pouch-like.
Pouch-like. See, a theme is emerging. And I had a camera attached to my helmet, which...
Behave. Everyone is to behave. Just because Julian said helmet it's not a cue for laughter. It is a butch
It's
moment.
a night out, isn't it?
Yes.
Anyway, you couldn't speak because of the velocity of the wind filling up every orifice. Can I have a point?
You certainly can. You're absolutely right, yes. The problem with the early days of parachuting was that the standard-shaped parachute would cause a lot of waving back and forwards. So someone said that maybe a V-shaped parachute would be a good idea. A 61-year-old watercolourist called Cocker. Oh, Cocking, I beg your pardon. Cocking. Robert Cocking.
You have like an innuendo buzzer there. Every time
His name was
helmet.
Robert Cocking. And he tried out in 1837 the V-shaped, and he became parachuting's first fatality.
You know, there's this probably got this on the cost, but you know that the SAS, you know how they do the old abseiling out of the helicopters?
Yes.
And stuff? They actually...
Rappelling, you're thinking of.
What?
Rappelling.
How dare you?
Yeah. Speed rappelling.
Speed rappelling. Yeah, they experimented parachuting out of helicopters, and of course the downdraft caved the thing in and they just die.
Yeah.
So that's why they did the rappelling, as I like to call it.
Yeah. Very good. It sucks up into the updraft, which you don't want to get sucked
You
up.
don't want to get sucked up in it, or what?
You don't... Stop it. Cocking...
Pouch like mouths.
Cocking tried to involve himself with a balloon, and he went from the balloon and he went up too fast. It was all it was a big disaster.
Went
anyway.
up too fast.
Yes, went up too fast,
He died on the spot, and the landlord of the pub where he landed charged people £6 to look at his body and made £10, which is quite successful.
He was lying there stiff as a board.
Yeah. But his widow successfully sued him and he had to pay the £10 back. Oh. But who was it who proposed a parachute back in 1485?
Proposed a parachute?
Proposed?
Yeah, proposed, suggested the idea of a parachute.
Bound to be Da Vinci.
It was indeed Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo
DiCaprio. He never tested it practically. The first actual jump of a parachute was made in 1783. Which is quite early, isn't it?
Yes.
By someone called Louis-Sébastien Lenormand, from a height of only 4 metres. So there we are, that's your parachuting. Now, this is fun. It's a dubious theory about jumping foxes.
A dubious theory from Stephen Fry.
According to researchers from the Czech Republic, foxes prefer to pounce on their prey in a northeasterly direction. As long as they do so, they are successful 73% of the time. If they jump in some other direction, they're much less successful, 18% of the time. So, the researchers think they must be using the Earth's magnetic field in some way which we don't yet understand. Dubious or not, visit foxyschmoxy.co.uk and then decide for yourself if you dare.
A dubious theory from Stephen Fry.
Yes, it is actually true that foxes do... Yep, the vast majority of their pounces on mice, in particular, are in exactly that direction. In the northern hemisphere, the magnetic field tilts downwards at about 65 degrees.
Yeah.
And the idea is the fox searches for the spot where the angle of the sound hitting its ears matches the slope of the Earth's magnetic field. It knows it's then a fixed distance away and can accurately leap on the mouse. It seems to be that it does have some very strong bearing on the Earth's magnetic field. And while we're on the subject of snow, we should look at avalanches. What should you not do if there's a danger of an avalanche?
Make a loud noise.
Oh, Julian, I wish you hadn't said that. No. Although it's a convenient plot device in movies, the idea of a gunshot or a shout or a loud noise causing an avalanche is a complete fallacy.
Oh, I'm sure I've seen it in a film.
As I say, it does happen in films,
Right.
but not in real life. Look at this one here.
Wow.
Look at it. Look at this. Coming straight at the camera. This is scary. Look at that. Jesus. Look, I mean, that is... Ah...
I'd love it if it came over Julian and Ross.
And then it's going to hit the camera in any minute. Bang. All right, so we're now going to have something incredibly exciting. At least I hope it's exciting. It's a jolly jape. I do love my jolly japes.
I love a jolly jape.
I've got here a little... what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and create something that will make you think, no, Stephen, this is not possible. Stephen, I will now bow down and worship you forever. I'm going to try and create a square bubble.
No.
Shut up, Stephen.
On the verge of worshipping you forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How would you not be? A square bubble.
Shut the
all
front
right.
door.
So I've got this. I've got this here. Can you see that bubble there?
Oh.
But it's not yet square. But if I blow,
No way!
square bubble. Square bubble. How amazing is that?
Very cool.
On television, virtually live, as we say. It's probably the only interesting and important thing I've ever done in my life. But I'm proud, and thank you for enjoying my square bubble. Well, that's the Jolly Jape. And on that bubble shell, I jump over to the scoreboard. I suppose I have to begin at the bottom. Julian.
No.
Unfortunately, you scored -7 points. You were at third place with -4.
Thank you.
In second place with 5 points, Ross Noble. And just 1 point ahead on +6 is Bill Bailey. Well, that's all from Julian, Ross, Bill, Alan and me. Be adorable to each other always. Good night.